Hey guys, me again. So day one of the big Afghan slash Iraqi slash North African build. I've dropped my wife off at the airport at 4:30 a.m. this morning. That was absolutely great getting up at that time, but she's away safely and she's very close to having a great weekend at Key West, and I'm going to have a great weekend here. Now, as I've said before, my plan for this project was to build essentially enough terrain for a 4x4 table, and it was going to incorporate a very sort of North African slash Middle Eastern style to it, because I want it to be fairly multi-purpose. I haven't got as much space as I would like, haven't got as much time or resources as I'd like, so I thought I would sort of make it multi-purpose, and that would allow me then to play test the rules that Andy and myself are writing at the moment, and that would allow me also to do some photos for our rule book when we eventually get around to that sort of nitty-gritty bits of it, which will be great. So I've got till Monday 8 o'clock to get the project finished. That's my goal. However, when I started to think about how much work was going to be involved, I realised I actually need to make a start. So I made a start earlier this week on, must have been Saturday or Sunday. So I've now been working on this for 4 or 5 days, if I can count, 4 or 5 days, and I would say roughly probably getting in at least 4 or 5 hours a day. So far I've probably put in a lot more hours than I should have, but needless to say, I'm enjoying it, having a great time. And I just wanted to give you a quick update as to where I was at this point, sort of before I started going a bit further. So I have started the marketplace. Currently, I bet these stairs are going to fall off. Yep, there goes one of them. It measures roughly, I think, 23 inches lengthwise and 12 inches wide. So it's going to take up a fair part of my terrain board, but that's fine. It's going to act as a centerpiece, and I quite like that. At the moment, so far, I have essentially built 4 different types of buildings, and then used multiple versions of that. So I've got my 3 inches by 6 inches with 3 doors, which you probably can't see, but anyway, it's got 3 openings, and I'm eventually going to put some sort of material behind those doors to kind of make them a little bit more pleasing to the eye. We've got 3 inch by 3 inch buildings. These are both 3 inches high, and on the front and on the backs I've got these wooden supports, and I've got some wooden doors that are open, and I've also got a 4x4 4 inch by 4 inches, and it's 4 inches high building, which will have a slightly different front to it. And then we've got my temple here, which is a 7-inch tall by 4 inches wide, and it's 4 inches square. Well, dimensions 7 inches high. There you go. I've been really sort of inspired by watching the terrain tutors videos, as I mentioned before, and so I thought I would really try to add a lot of detail to the fronts and the insides just to make them look better. So at the moment, this is the structural work. I've got 2 to finish off, and then I'm going to start shortly using polyfiller to stipple on to give the buildings some texture. I also have made some curtains in the windows, and there'll also be some in the doors, and I've used for the first time pink insulation foam. Now, I was a little bit hesitant to use this because it was hard to get hold of. I found it in my local hardware store. It's a 1/2 inch thick, but it is an absolute beautiful piece of material to work with. Very easy to cut, doesn't flake like the white stuff where you get it all over the place. My wife loves this stuff because it doesn't make a mess of the house. And the beautiful thing about it is you can put a lot of detail in. You can texture it, you can use your knife on it and work some detail into it, and it really takes detail well. So I've used that for the stairs, and In my temple, I'm actually got stairs leading up to the first floor, and then I've got stairs leading up from the first floor to the roof, which is going to have a dome on it. So all in all, it's starting to really come together, and the construction of it is going well. Curtains, very quickly, another trick I picked up from the train tutor. Baby wipes, dry these out, cut them, dip them into sort of 50-50 glue and water mixture, and then when they dry out, they get this very textured look, and I'll paint those up to give them a little bit something extra. And my final thing that I'm going to just quickly throw out there, other than the pink stuff, is plastic plants. Picked this up for about $5, and all these small little bits I'm going to be pulling off and sticking in places to make it look fairly sort of, yeah, I'm going to use it as foliage. I'm planning to have a covered part over the marketplace which has essentially palm leaves. These are as close as I could get, and I'll lay those out, and I might even give them a little bit of a paint with a wash just to darken them up a little bit, or to lighten them up a bit more. So there we go, day one. This is as far as I've got with 5 days down. Hopefully come Monday night when I post another report, or maybe even one halfway in there, I'll have finished this, and I will have got some walls. That's the next part of the project I want to do, and I will have started to build some compound structures. The plan is to make them, I can't even think of the term now. Make them modular. That's it. Make them modular so that I can move them about and change up how it looks, and kind of get a bit of variation, and so I can move around. And then obviously storage will be a little bit easier as well. This I'm going to have to find somewhere to store, but that's part of the fun of the hobby, isn't it? Anyway, that's enough from me. I'm sure you've seen far too much from my face and heard too much from my voice. But anyway, let's move on. Let's get on to the building, and I will speak to you all very soon. Okay, take care.